we had a viewer submitted question come in at the start of this episode where someone asked if Patton knew what an airplane was, and that kind of spun off into a 10-minute long discussion. Well, discussion's a nice word for it. It was mostly just kind of yelling and a lot of bad audio. So I cut that out, but I wanted to let you know before we jump into this episode and you wonder what the fuck we were talking about. Short answer is, yeah, Patton knows what a plane is. They've been on the rock for 60 years. Anyway, going back to the episode.
I mean, if you want to hear a good history tidbit from me, I did not know that 2001: A Space Odyssey came out not in 2001.
First airplane flight was 1903.
Yeah, 1903.
So you don't even watch movies. Get out of here.
And then the moon landing was 67?
It's good that you slipped it past them, Tad. They would jump all over you for it.
No, I heard that, Tad. I'm ignoring it.
So, yeah, no, it's right about 60 years.
Yeah.
Sentient beings learn shit real quick if we assume that all sentient beings in fantasy races, in fantasy games and shit, are at least as smart as humans.
Yeah, the humans can land on the moon, and we can present to you Revival, a Dungeons & Dragons real play podcast.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Thank you.
I wasn't expecting a transition, but okay, yeah, that's reasonable.
It's been 11 minutes.
So we just got Jerry back from yet another whatever the fuck Jerry does.
Yeah.
But this is
gloves are off.
This is the fourth time, right?
This is the fourth time
that this has happened, correct?
So, yes. Giron is back safe and sound. You saw the ghostly apparition of Michael as he was, halfway in the teleport state talking to you guys. That fades away. And also, by the way, I just thought I should, mention, considering I think we kind of passed over it. But if you'll recall, considering the mana density and everything, right?
Correct.
And the lack of, tons of gear.
Yeah.
For all that, you guys left behind the kobolds and stuff, right? Remember that?
Yeah, to scavenge it. Was it at the aquifer or was it somewhere else? I don't remember where we left them.
It was back in one of those cities where you left those guys behind, at least until you found a good stepping point, at which point you found Tiawaki. And then from there, I think we actually forgot to say exactly what you did with them.
It's entirely within character that Patton does not know either.
I mean, I literally assumed that we got him back.
That you have enough mana retention gear for everybody?
No, I assumed that they were traveling with us. In the convoy.
Right.
The Buick of kobolds.
What we talked about was the problem with the convoy was there wasn't enough mana retention gear for everybody. Because you're going through hardcore dead zones.
I think all we have with us are the Dragonborn, Alonza, and the interns and Dr. Robo.
Didn't you leave behind the dragons with the kobolds as kobold wranglers?
God, I hope so.
No, because because we were literally on the radio with them during the Wyvern fight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying there might be a discrepancy.
Mana retention-wise, I remember we spent the gold to...
Considering that occurred, then we need to state that they are with you, in fact, then.
Yeah, I assumed that one of the things...
It's just that there was a discussion about leaving them. Then you guys went, Americana, you got mana retention gear, and then we did not discuss you guys calling them up and bringing them back with you.
Yeah, that's right around the lost episode area.
Right, that's the problem. Yeah, that's in the lost episode.
It went into the Jerry black hole and everything turned out fine on the other end.
It also, the other issue is that was right around the time when, there were massive breaks in recording.
Yes.
Also, make more notes. I've got a bunch of notes, but there's only so much that I can take note of while I'm talking, right? If I were to take notes of everything that I say when I improv shit, you would be hearing constant tacking. So please, take more notes, guys. And that means people who aren't Tad, because Tad's taking notes for recording. for editing. Take
I
notes.
think I have notes.
Fuck you, God. I ain't taking no notes.
I distinctly remember this statement, but fuck you.
John yells at God.
So, anyway, you have one Giron back with you.
Oh, great.
Isn't that just a relief?
You also have exactly one Brandel flipping his little mind out
Why is Brandel flipping out still?
because he is convinced that this was all his fault.
I mean, on the one hand, he is really magical, so I don't want to tell him, like, obviously this isn't your... If this really was you, you'd be able to recreate it, because then he fucking might. So...
Then he would try to.
Right.
Like you said, Dr. Adahom, we got a repeater experiment.
No.
Aha!
I'm just gonna...
Yeah, that would exactly happen.
I'm just gonna stop him.
So Elias goes to go calm down one incredibly, incredibly excitable
Yeah, I'm
small
gonna
man.
basically wrangle the interns and start
Jerry's
working
gonna-
on the wyvern stuff while side-eyeing Jerry real fucking hard as I walk out the room.
Jerry's gonna emerge from his room / corner / cubby hole, and
Aren't you in the middle of the floor, having just gotten teleported through here?
Correct.
oh, we're doing right after. Okay,
We're doing right after.
Okay.
It's a kind of important bit, don't you think?
yeah, I just thought we had like a bit of dialogue at the end of the last episode, but that's cool.
Not really.
Okay, all right, so we have cameras in here apparently, and no one saw that anyway. I kind of saved the
I did.
operation, but the gloves are off now, and John, I kind of need to ask you something.
All right.
It's gonna come down to killing them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to do that?
Well, I mean, Granddaddy Lazarus said it was fine, so I think it's fine if it comes down to it. Still want to try talking to him myself, but, well, if they don't see reason, they don't see reason.
Wait. Just for clarity's sake, has fucking Jerry shown any of the... I assume you were taking video, right? Of that whole interaction?
Yeah.
Has John has not had a chance to watch that yet, has he?
No.
You can do this in character, Michael.
I've left the room.
Oh,
Remember?
you're in the same truck. You're well within earshot.
Yeah, but
It's pretty
I
small.
can't do it in... I haven't seen it either. I don't know what happened.
I'm about to show it. I'm conveniently leaving out the part where I threatened some Grey Boy shit on Raphael, because I don't want anyone seeing that. But yeah, John, they're not going to see reason. They think that we stripped Abaddon. Well, I'll just show you. Zeb, can you pull up the footage? It's in here somewhere.
Right away, boss, but, you sure you want me to... Look, boss, he's gonna put his hand up to you.
Elias, grab the popcorn.
You hear?
Look, between you and me, I took a quick look at it, and it doesn't make you, us, or the team look particularly good. You might be better off just deleting it.
John, do you want butter? We don't have a lot of butter left.
But Zeb, it's all
I
about
can
showing
make
the
some
truth,
butter.
right?
No,
And really,
patent.
we've got more artifacts, right? You showed me the book, right? If the book was accurate,
I definitely don't want any
John's our star,
patent-made
right?
butter.
He's got more
You got any
artifacts.
salt?
If God's
Yeah.
speaking directly through John, that means that God's on
Yeah,
our side.
I have some, but
Right?
it's chemical. It's test grade. I wouldn't eat it.
Like, spin it that way if
Oh,
you
just
can.
take popcorn then.
Just add a little bit of
All
flavor
right.
to it. Spice it up. Spin it that way with the book.
Spice it up, spice it up. All right, so we're gonna add some salt to that popcorn, right, guys?
I think we decided not to add salt to the popcorn.
Not even a few drips of Dr. Patton's patent pending butter brew? Look at it. It's volatile.
Yeah, Jerry's logic there is pretty sound, right? Like, he showed me the book.
I'm gonna walk back into the room. You're going to hear in the distance my interns basically like writing shit down.
Yeah.
Because they're doing research on the wyvern stuff and research on how not to fuck up magic like Jerry.
Okay, so
Okay.
Jerry's gonna like put the image on the wall of the truck. And-
Before you guys all see this, please let it be known that I was unconscious for all of this.
Uh-oh.
Just putting that out there.
Yes, well, Zep, I don't think anyone really bears any ill will towards you.
Really?
Well, I certainly don't.
Huh. Good to know.
Should we?
Absolutely not.
Anyway, so we're just gonna skip through some of this conversation here. It's just Michael being threatening.
Jerry, I don't think that's a very good idea at all. We need to see everything that was said, otherwise we won't have a good picture. Well, not only that, but any clue that Michael might give us about his intentions or misplaced
Well,
word.
this part is where he describes it exactly. He pulls out that book he had in the church. Just pull that up here, Zep.
What I'm saying
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Jerry's got a laser pointer.
information like this needs to be gone over in detail. John might be able to pick up small hints and things we might not otherwise catch.
I think they're asking you to play the whole tape in full there, boss.
That's a good point, Elias.
Well,
Want me to cue it up?
cue it up, Zep. I mean,
All
they
right.
gotta trust me. So whatever.
Oh, not at all, Jerry.
So, cue up whole thing, right?
yeah.
Not actually like super long, only like maybe an hour and a half. Like maybe. There's a couple of pauses, but for the most part, everything more or less happened in real time. So, assuming you guys all remember the things that happened, you can now be assumed in character to know all of the stuff that happened.
Oh, Jerry, you got some deep-seated issues.
Then I left that part out.
What part?
Like the Gray Boy shit. That part's gone.
All the
You
same,
edited
Can
Jerry,
he
you
do
got
that?
some deep-seated issues.
Yeah, like Jerry would be smart enough to edit that part out because that's extremely fucked up.
All right.
All right.
Fair enough.
Doesn't
Okay.
that leave a fairly obvious gap?
It does.
No, she went inside my head. I don't need to record that.
Ah, I see. You're just going to leave out all of that bit.
Yeah, the
But
important part was.
is that
what was
how it
happening
works? Hold on, can we clarify this? Can he
Yeah, that
record
actually is rather
inside
important.
Jerry's head?
Technically speaking, the way that we decided that it worked was that anything that Jiron sees can be recorded in that way as a result of that weird pact nonsense. Pretty much, if he can see it, it can be recorded. The camera concept is more of a... It's the pact justifying its own existence within reality, of making it work, but it wouldn't be bound to that in a non-physical realm. So actually it would work better within his own mind.
Right, so there's a very obvious gap between... I'm not trying to roll against
And it's also been stated before, you have also seen previous imagery and recordings of memories and hallucinations and things of that nature.
I'm not trying
has
to
been
be,
established to be
I'm
a
not
thing.
trying to be Johnny rolls against the party here, but if there's a situation where what's her face? Was it Raphael?
Yes. Raphael is going to say, I'm going to find out what I need, and you're going to show it to me. Basically, your option there, Jiron, for editing would be to just do a hard cut. But basically, if you were to do that, then you would hard cut from that to being in an empty room, and she's just gone, and all the lights.
And I
would
can't
change.
prove
It
that
would
I
be-
saved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to show this to the main audience then. I'm just going to show it to the group.
Okay, makes sense.
I mean, you could
Because I'm
show
not
it.
taking a ratings tank for this.
Right, that's fair.
we can establish that this is not seen by you, the viewer.
Just ignore all that. Jerry's a good guy.
You, the viewer, viewing the podcast, can hear this, but the viewer in
The viewing audience within lore would not know this.
correct.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's fine then.
Okay. So we'll just show it all then. And I'll just respond to John then. John, it was more of just a power move to get out of there. If she saw what Abaddon said, what he exposed, then the entire thing falls apart. But we have logic on our side this time. Look at this. Zep, go back to the book.
Right here.
All right, there's my name. All these crimes that Michael had were accurate. But we have more artifacts, don't we? And John, you've been inside my mind, just like Raphael was. You've seen a lot worse than this stuff. You can't really read all of it. There's a lot. Man, that font's small.
I don't know if that's a point for you. I don't know if I've been bragging about that.
Boss, I'm pretty sure that if you look right there, I think those are the things that John saw you do. In the memory things, those are there. There's just so many of them.
I can see how you'd miss it on the first pass through of this here list.
There's a lot.
Are both of those pages dedicated to you?
It appears to be.
No, it cuts off about halfway down. Okay, that's slightly more.
No, Zep, that's by date.
Oh no!
Well, there's a whole hidden archive for our viewers to uncover. Maybe never. But my point here is that John's been inside my mind, and if this is some battle between the God's chosen ones, right, John? That's the thing. You've got more artifacts. You don't seem to want to cleanse the earth of me. I hope, right?
I mean, after this.
Yes, well, if we're done doing whatever it is that this is, I think the more pressing concern here is, this seems to keep happening, Jerry?
Me getting kidnapped or our interactions with them?
Yes.
Yes.
This is sort of bordering on very close to unacceptable, not to mention that during your brief confinement, rather than, I don't know, put them on guard or weaken their resolve or press our case, similar to what we did with Abaddon, shake the faith a bit, you seem to have pissed them off.
You made us the bad guys, Jerry.
Further solidified their case against us. We, other than you and John, they haven't really had a chance to speak to either Patton or myself, and I'm not really sure what to say other than the plan wasn't necessarily, wholesale slaughter here.
I thought that was explicitly the opposite of the plan, wasn't it? Wasn't the explicit plan not doing that?
Yes, I believe the plan was we need to either convince or otherwise remove Michael, but these followers of his, they're an unknown element. We don't have anything to do with them. Michael might be an unredeemable fanatic, but his followers, we don't really know. We've been pressed into having to deal with them in somewhat lethal ways before. But
are you under the presumption that they're all charmed, Elias? Are they all brainwashed to you? Can they not think for themselves?
Charmed? Brainwashed? Are you using the clinical definition, the magical definition, or are you just speaking of being persuaded?
Did you miss the part where his followers tried to set our friends on fire?
Did you miss the part where we've killed some of them before?
We hadn't killed any of them before they tried setting them on fire, now did they?
Yes, we did.
We did not. Uriel was still alive when that house was on fire. And I have the tape to prove it.
All right, Jerry,
that's true.
There are no innocents here.
Exactly.
We got blood in our hand now.
His followers are just as guilty as he is,
That's
unless
not
you're
what I
under the
said.
impression that they are... No, I'm not talking to you, John. I will, but not... In this pretense, we don't need to spare them because of some lack
I'm sorry, Jerry.
of guilt.
This might come down to a slightly differing concept of proportionality proportion. Why can't I say this word right now?
Proportion?
No. There's an
Proportionality.
Proportionate.
No. There's an ality at the end. Proportionate. I can't say this word.
Proportionality.
Proportionality. Yeah.
Proportionality.
There we go.
That sounds like a made up word, Pat.
It's
would
I don't
use.
think
That
that's a
sounds like
word.
a word. That sounds like a fake word.
It's a real word.
Whatever,
Let's just
go
go with
for it.
proportional response. There seems to be slightly differing concepts of what constitutes proportional response here. While Michael might be a religious fanatic and, walking around with a bunch of pseudo cult members, let's not forget that John also comes from a strong religious sect, and he was convinced otherwise.
He also, if I'm sorry there, John, but if we're talking about things that people have done, please look at Exhibit A right here, and you're gonna see just the
fingers?
of John cutting some dude's fingers off. Look, technically speaking, they didn't actually kill the guys who were in the house. They were using it as bait, right? It was like a bait thing. Like it's definitely messed up and everything, but it's not technically murder. And trust me, I know about the technicalities there.
What
I
I'm
mean, they
saying
did gather
is,
a bunch of people. You're talking about the church, right? Where they gathered a bunch of people and just kind of let a man starve there. And
No, I'm talking about the time they set our friends on fire.
yeah, maybe they planned on saving them at the end there, but I have a strong feeling they didn't care.
Where then this guy over here, big muscle man elf just started shoving a guy to the ground over and over again.
now, what I'm saying here is that we've missed a very strong opportunity to assess what exactly they know, because we don't know who was there and who set the fire and what explanation was given to them. This is how cults work. These sort of large, charismatic figures spin stories and explain things in ways that make sense to everyone else. We can't just immediately assume that all of these people that we meet are free, that we have free range to just murder them.
So as you'll see on the background, you're going to see Michael repeating, "Murderers, all of them. Murderers, all of them. They all got blood on their hands." Zeph's just gonna flip through. I think the doc's right.
He's been spinning tales and convincing his followers of a multitude of things, and if we play into those fears, all we do is strengthen their group. All we do is make Michael seem even more right. Do you think that that theatric with him going to lose his cool and having the large fellow, I forget his name, hold him back was anything other than deliberate? This is classic. Maybe you didn't have a formal education, but
You're going to see a blank look and like a visible chill go down Zeph's spine as he's floating. He's just gonna kind of shudder a bit. Boss?
Yeah.
We just lost a lot of mana.
What? How'd we lose the mana?
They recorded it.
It didn't show.
Oh no, they recorded it. They had cameras in there.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Doc, Patton, do you think you could flip on just start flipping on the radio and just start chasing through the channels?
Oh no! All right, I'll go ahead and I'll start flicking through.
Now, what if I told you about telling the truth, Jerry?
And there's Michael's voice.
Playing back exactly that whole scenario, huh?
Yep. This man, Jiron Thalatak, is a murderer. He's killed multiple of my close friends at this point and has admitted to it on camera for you here today. These men,
Walkie.
who do they work for?
Talkie.
Who is filling their pockets?
Call him. Call Red.
Who is lining their pockets with that blood money? Why, it's that serpent sitting up there in that high tower, running that sin city called New York.
Jerry, you
Ladies
may
and
be
gentlemen?
fucked up.
Yeah, no shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I've presented to you today, I think stands on its own. Now, my name's Michael, and I'd encourage you, if you've been touched by what you heard here today, keep listening.
Which radio station is this coming from?
Multiple at this point.
Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be lucky enough to have them at an actual radio station doing it. They set it up beforehand.
No, that was...
Or have the connections, at least, to be able to do it real quick.
And they can also teleport.
True, they can teleport.
I think it might be time to hurry things along a little bit.
Faster we take Michael down, the faster we can get through this whole mess.
We got one artifact left. Zep, give me some future reserves. This man will come back. I know it will.
Boss, guys. He's just gonna click the button on the camera here, indicating off the grid, Tad.
How close are we to the West Coast now? I think we're pretty close.
Fairly close.
We're at like the foot of the Rockies now, right?
Let me see exactly where you nerds are right now.
I know that we're a little bit west of the Ogallala Aquifer.
Yeah, we can cut back in at this point, and then we'll discuss where you guys are and all of that. If I remember correctly, you guys had gone... Yeah, you were going through Texas on 40. You were gonna cut through Texas there. So you're cutting like right down into you're pretty close to Amarillo. So it's still pretty far away. Like, let me just do a quick directions thing. So 25 hours or about 1,674 miles. So you're probably like 4 days, considering, the car and having to stop to synthesize, to alchemy up gas and all of that nonsense.
Yeah, but that's plenty of time to issue our...
Yeah, the statement.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to do is I want to, because we end up getting separated from each other more often than we should. I wanted to, first I'm going to work on making a ground mode for Lil Bro, where he can go along the ground in case his flight systems are taken out.
Like turn into
I
a little
realized
tank.
that when we sent him in, I was like, oh, Jesus. I was thinking more like little spider limbs, so you can click around. So that's suitably terrifying.
Work. I mean, technically speaking, he's a disembodied hand.
That is true. He is Magical Hand, or whatever the fuck it's called.
He is technically a disembodied hand as the feet. So you could swap stuff real quick. So yeah, giving him little spider legs would work just fine.
And then also, based on the specky backpack... I
kind of assumed he had those already.
Yeah, I think I was going to give it to him, and I forgot about it. But I also want him to be able to mimic specky backpack mode. Not be able to do anything, but just so that I don't have to worry about carrying him with me in case we get, like... If I send him out, he can attach to me, like, just get on my back and kind of use his legs, just kind of like, clink, hold on, so I can carry him with me real quick and not have to worry about piloting him, and then, keep my... not have to split my concentration.
Yeah. This is really good stuff, but the editing is going to be a little bit awkward. You might want to just try and find a way to slot this in.
Oh, I thought we cut back in already.
Yeah, but the editing from when we cut out to cut back in to discuss stuff.
Oh. Yeah, it'll be nightmarish. That's the word I'd use.
Yeah, we had to for the viewers, we had to discuss their explicit plans of where they're going. Because there was some out-of-character argument about, like, where exactly the fuck they were going and, like, what they were going to do.
Yeah, I had to shout at Michael that we're not going to another aquifer, and he put up this whole argument.
It was a very in-depth argument about aquifers.
It was not. So...
Subscribe to the Patreon
anyway,
aquifer tier.
Cutting back into the in-character stuff, So, right.
John,
We're gonna need to make something to counteract this, right?
correct.
Right, but we can't act like we've been caught. John just has to give his own statement and response, but we can't act like we've been made fools of.
Boy, that would be a lot easier if we hadn't been made fools of, now wouldn't it, Jerry?
Well, gee, it sure would, Elias, but that's not where we're at. Anyway, John,
What did
I'm gonna strangle you, Matt. Out of character.
don't be a dick to Jerry if you don't want him to be a dick to you. Anyway, besides crying over spilled milk, like the professor wants to do, John, we just need to address his arguments. You've already got more artifacts, right? So, that's on our side. That's objective. None of this, whoa, they're so evil crap.
Yeah, sure. What are we thinking of going for here? Are we thinking of going for like a somber, like, president addressing the country after getting caught doing something wrong? Or are we looking at more of a, like, classic hero sort of lighting?
I'll just stand
Or
outside.
are we looking for... the light sucks outside.
The one that was in the wheelchairs, whenever he did stuff wrong, he never admitted it, so you know.
And look what that got you, Jerry.
Yes, well, I think
Well,
This-
that guy's revered as a hero, you know.
this might be the time for, well, I'm not really sure, I'm not familiar, but John, isn't there something about this sort of thing? I mean, most organized religions have processes in place for prophets and false prophets. I assume, since your magical abilities still work, that you're at least somewhat in the right in terms of standing with your deity or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Yes, I'm not really entirely sure how that's working, considering that they both seem to have massive amounts of power coming from the same source, and it doesn't really seem to care whether or not either
Well, I'm
of them
sure God
adheres
knows
to...
what he's doing.
Yes, well, if that's the case, then why don't you call on some of that and make your statement, make your case.
Maybe he's like an angel that's fallen from grace or something. I don't know, John. It's your book.
Wait, isn't that literally like the big bad?
Yeah, that's the point, Zep.
I don't think that would work. All right. So turn over here. Look at the camera. Are you ready for this, or do you need more time to prep? Do you need a script? I can get you a script.
I'm gonna need a couple minutes here as I go back to scribbling furiously.
So while our star is getting everything ready, what are we doing here? Because I'm kind of panicking.
Same here, Zep. Same here. Good things John's
Also,
done. Good things John's done.
On a personal note, technically speaking, I'm part of you. So when you say kill me, you're also saying kill Zep. I would prefer if you didn't. Just saying.
Who's killing Zep?
Nobody is, hopefully.
Okay.
Well,
Zep, pull up the footage of John going into the burning house.
All right. I got that queued up. Anything else? Any other hero shots? You want me to get some good B-roll?
Get him on top of the train. Using God's power to split the objects in our way to make sure that we all didn't die.
Split the thing. Yes.
Yeah. Top 10 John moments.
Top 10 best John anime moments.
Load Zep. I believe you have that that instance with DB and the rather large spider.
Yeah, I got that.
I think that was quite heroic of me, calming him down.
Wait,
You're not the star, Elias. What?
Yes,
we don't care about Doc.
Zep.
Doc, this ain't about you.
I tend to think it is.
That's a good
considering
idea,
that
though.
How?
We should include a couple shots of everyone being heroic.
the accusation was
That's
leveled
a good point.
against us. Maybe we minimize Jerry's role. If you have any B-roll of Jerry being heroic,
Jiron being heroic.
Swinging the spider into Elias's foot for him to kick.
And-
I mean, that's just violence. Patton's got that easy shot of when I was helping treat all of Casey's crew and like where they got all roughed up and I was in there, giving medical care. I've done that more than a few times.
We got Patton helping people out. Best one I got for Jiron, this one's actually pretty good, is got it with his hands tied behind his back, just staring Red's face, just staring him down.
Oh, yes.
That's a pretty good one, I think.
In the beginning when Red...
Because Michael was saying that that you guys got, you're in his pockets, which you kind of are, but this would make you look like you're not.
Right. Yeah, throw that in there, Zeth. That's good.
You sure that's the kind of angle we're going for here?
Well, it makes you guys look more like your own thing and less of puppets, I think, kind of.
It also puts Red in a less malevolent light, because there's no proof that he's a mob boss in any of this.
Right. I'll have the whole bit. I mean, it's going to make you look a little bit silly where he goes to be like he's going to kill you, and then he just knocks you over and starts laughing.
Hey, that's good. It's comic relief.
Get some B-roll of that. There's you guys giving that one little kobold food. That's a thing the nice people
I
do.
think maybe we should focus more on explicit heroics rather than daily niceties.
You guys riding into that big city with that taking down that big old Minotaur guy?
I think that might be a little too violent for what we're going for.
When we fought Euro, I think it was John and Pat that were in the burning house.
The
right?
burning house, I think we should show.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good one.
Michael and them's lighting the house on fire, yeah.
We should show Tiadwaki reveling us as heroes.
Yes.
John's Lazarus's sermon, and the
That's
the confrontation between Lazarus and Michael when we first met.
a good one.
Downright
That's a good one.
antagonistic right there.
We still have the interview that person gave of when Michael's crew went into Tenali and totally shot everyone and killed them all.
That's true. I've actually got the video and audio of that footage.
Yeah, we do have the video from the Tenali facility.
I'm actually not. Even if it gets out that he was a drug dealer, I'm not sure that will be a large factor considering the demographic of New York.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff might work in like a sustained propaganda campaign, but like, I don't really think any of this is necessary. I think a good old-fashioned radio broadcast would be just fine.
I think we should at least.
Well, you gotta have both, right? You gotta have both.
We'll
yeah,
have
kind of
the,
like if you were doing something weird, like hosting a podcast on YouTube and iTunes.
I don't think you could say
Hey,
that in
shut the
character.
fuck up.
Pat, what is a podcast?
No. Zep is going to pull out a lampshade. Fuck all you guys.
Well, I think that the idea here, John, is we've sort of been thrown for a loop, and any element of surprise or goodwill that we might have had is sort of spent at this point. So, as cliche as it might be, a sustained propaganda film or a campaign might be the correct choice here.
Well, I don't like it.
Yes, well, think of it. It's we're telling the truth far more than Michael is, despite Jerry's rather large omissions.
Yeah, but we're
I
still
don't think we're lying at all, right?
we're still selling the truth.
Are we?
We're selling the truth, but then again, John, it's impossible to sit everyone down for a 2-hour-long discussion of the minutia of our conflict here, now isn't it? We have to show ourselves in the best light possible.
I'll do it. I just don't like it.
Well, I'm sure that
that willingness to do things that go outside of your comfort zone and put yourself at risk and really stretch the limits of your own personal code really is one thing that I appreciate about you. And boss, please, next time somebody threatens to kill you, don't say, please kill me, because then I'll die.
Zep, when did you grow a conscience?
Oh no, that was entirely a segue into me saying, please, Jiron, do not get me killed.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Okay, yeah. Mm. This is the only time Jerry and Elias are nodding in agreement. All right. It was trying to call his bluff, but okay. I'll make sure that we make it out alive. I mean, I gotta give these gloves back,
The last time you called someone's bluff like that, you were literally playing poker. How much money did we lose? We lost a lot.
I can't count that high anymore. I don't want to count that high anymore.
It was a lot.
You lost
I know it was
this
a lot.
many.
I know
This
it
many
was
money.
Anyway, Jerry's just arguing in the corner with himself.
All right. Well, I think
Well,
we
Y'all
should
ready?
get this together.
let's go find a nice tree stump to sit on.
All right, so Jerry's gonna set up a frame
Tree
here.
stump.
Yeah, John's gonna do the stand up and well, put one foot on the tree stump. After school special, this thing.
Please tell me he has his jacket like
Over
like
his
he's taking
shoulder.
his jacket off and like flung it over his back and is holding it in one hand.
Here, open up by tilting your hat. That's folksy. People love that.
It can only be better if he like got a school chair, flipped it around backwards, sat down, and said, "Let's rap."
That just sounds downright silly.
All right, and Jerry's holding up his hand, doing the 5, 4, points his finger.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Gorgrek Brick Smasher, but many of you will know me as John. Now, there's been some talk, mostly from a man called Michael, about us being the bad guys and them being holy men. Michael is a former member of the congregation, and I know him well. He's left us to pursue his own delusions, manipulating his followers and manipulating you all. He's burned our friends alive, he's killed, he's enslaved, and he's a monster. Stand strong against the false prophet, as the sons and daughters of God have stood against evil and tyranny. Now, in the words of the Lord, watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. For every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit will be cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, by your fruit you will recognize them. And then I'm going to tip my hat.
That was fucking perfect.
How are we looking, Zep?
Taps button. Yeah, that was really good, except for the part where it doesn't get him to follow us out west. We kind of need that bit, right?
Well,
Yeah.
We need the call out bit where we're talking about the thing.
I just assumed antagonizing would be good enough. He seems like a pretty...
Do you think
arrogant
that'll
man.
be? Will that be good enough?
I think you might want
Do
to
you guys
name
think that'll be
drop.
good enough?
John, I think you might want to name drop Armageddon.
no, I don't think we need to go that far. I think that's might be playing into his ideological hand a little too strongly. I think, well, when you do the editing of our heroic deeds and sort of however the voiceover, I think it's called, however that works, with that spliced together, at the end when we send this out, I think, John, if you mention what Lazarus told us, I believe, at the end, regarding, I think it was something out west, the most important of these artifacts.
The Ark. Good job, Elias. Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant.
I think that's what it was called, but John would know better. We only spoke briefly about it. I don't think we were planning on really having to go this far.
Well, it was a pretty important artifact, so...
We could let Michael know that we're going for the Ark, and then we're going to put a stop to his nonsense.
Here's what we'll do
Well,
after John's little
You
verse
gotta
there.
okay. Psychology. Would he think that by you guys getting it that he would be shut down forever?
No, he would have to think by himself getting it. He would have what he needs to kill Red.
No. So if he doesn't have it, he can't.
Yes.
Okay, then that works, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole point of the Ark is that it's like super duper.
Is there anything that is there anything like that's like really like big about it? Because I could put like a big old light beam in the background in the direction of where you guys want it to be.
well, there is always, well, isn't there that, I don't know, there's, from what I understand, John, there were things like shards of the true cross a spear of some kind. I'm not really familiar.
Well, in any case, I don't think we should tip our hand too far till we're a bit closer.
Yes, but well, we need to properly bait the trap, don't we? I mean, if we're looking to get to this arc first,
To continue the poker analogy, fantastic segues today, Zep. You are doing so good. You gotta raise the ante. You can't just keep calling. You gotta raise.
All right.
Poker terms.
So,
poker terms.
How
well,
about
I
this,
do.
You're doing that voiceover thing near the end of the broadcast. Just put in we're going out west, Michael. We're gonna go find the Ark of the Covenant. We're gonna put a stop to your nonsense. We aren't letting something that powerful fall into your hands. Think that'll work?
And wrap.
Good enough.
Beautiful. Perfect.
All right, I keep in. Think that'll work?
Not
That
that
going well?
Do not keep that in. That's a terrible idea.
All right, now, since John just said that, can we do like a quick check around for any halflings on the wall?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna roll
Probably
perception
should
for
have did this
that.
beforehand.
Yeah,
but
maybe you should have done that beforehand.
Who has the highest perception? Who's the elf?
You guys might all want a perception.
I
here.
have the highest perception.
I got a 13.
Good
I have a 2.
fucking job.
I have a 2. Fuck off.
Oh, there's my D20. It was in my pocket.
It was in my pocket.
Oh, I should probably roll. It's 7.
I got 24.
24. And what did John get?
I got speech. I wasn't gonna roll.
Oh, yeah. Alright, makes sense. So on a 27 and a 24, you can be very confident that there was nobody else that you did not think was watching.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think anybody would be, considering the nature of the magic stuff that we just did, and the fact that I threw a big old clump of that powder from the artifact into the room anyway.
Yeah, which is a bit of a problem.
I mean, yeah, the room's
Cleaning
kind of
that shit up
fucked
is annoying.
for a bit, and I can't really have Specky clean it up because that stuff's like silica glass.
It's very poison for Specky.
Yeah, Specky don't want none of that. That sounds like a job
Specky
for
gonna
like little
make a
brother.
Yeah, that's definitely a Rolo job.
Turn him into a Roomba.
Well,
Okay.
no, he pulls out a little broom and dustpan.
Yeah, with robot arms.
I sure am glad we got us some robots here to do all the work we don't want to do.
So the next issue would be signal boosting this and hijacking Michael then?
If we can.
Who's
I think that would be
hijacking?
really nice. To
What do you mean?
interrupt his broadcast, because I'm assuming it's repeating over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Periodically.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we already have a viewership, so you can just send it out on your show as a special update, and then just blast it out on the radio if Patton knows how to.
Speaking of radios,
Oh yeah, Red's gonna call in just a second, isn't he?
yep.
I'll take that. I think I know who that
You're
might
going
be.
to hear the sound of a claw clanking against some metal. Just a clang.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up.
Clang.
I'll handle this. Yes, hello, Red.
Buddy. Elias. Dr. Elias, right? Dr. Elias.
Now,
Adelheid.
I understand where this is going, and let me be the first to say that Jerry has been severely reprimanded for that little stunt that he pulled, and
Let me tell you something. Stay on the line. Let me tell you something. How many people do you think I have unofficially and officially working for me? Just guess.
I think that any guess that I made would be wildly off the mark. So, more than I think, and less than you would want me to know.
That is a surprisingly accurate response. I'm actually impressed. Anyway, that being the case, I know how to keep track of them. Even this little one right here, Emily. She gets off into all sorts of wacky little adventures now, don't you? Please, leave right now. I'm going to start yelling. You're going to hear just some metal clanging as she is very clearly picking things up. I'm going to ignore that for right now. Anyway, I keep track of them. I certainly don't let them, I don't know, teleport randomly into the direct control of a man who is trying to kill me.
Yes, well, if I had any sort
and
of...
then let him rattle his mouth and make not only himself, but me and all of you look like psychopaths.
Yes, well, on that note, number one, there's not really many excuses that I can make beyond Jerry is an idiot, and there's absolutely nothing within my personal magical or biological ability that could be done to control this sort of teleporting, considering we don't really understand how it works, and I'm not entirely sure you understand.
Not understanding how it works would lead me to believe that that's called a priority. Figuring out how it works would seem to be a priority, don't you think?
We were just about...
When I don't know something that is important and directly affects me, I figure out how it works, or I hire people to figure out how it works if I can't figure out how it works.
Yes, well, that was what we were doing when Jerry decided to go off on his own and pull this little stunt. Not to throw Jerry under the very nice and expensive bus that you've provided for us, but that's simply how it is. Now, on that note, before we get into...
Elias
Jerry,
knows I was
shut
kidnapped,
up.
right? This is out of character. You know I was kidnapped, right? Like, in character, you know that?
Yes, yes,
up,
I
Jerry.
do.
Not to throw Jerry under the bus. Throwing him under the bus.
I mean,
Whose fault was this, Jerry?
She was trying to kidnap me anyway.
You were fucking around with time.
you don't
Again.
fuck around with time, Jerry.
That's how you get the
No,
time
it's
cops
less,
on
it's
you.
less the time fuckery, and it's more of
The
the
nat
direct
one.
antagonization.
Yes, let me get back to dealing with Red slightly here. Where was I before Jerry interrupted me? Yes. On that note, we already have a counter broadcast recorded, and we'll be playing it out very shortly. That will make not only us, and by extension you, look much, much better. And we're also moving to the final stage of dealing with the Michael problem once and for all.
Fantastic. Really, that's all I wanted to hear. But you have to understand that ordinarily, under normal circumstances, I think I've been more than gracious.
Yes.
I've provided a lot out of my own pockets.
I don't think...
And a lot of my time, and a lot of my energy.
Yes, well, I don't think any of us, yourself included, had any idea exactly the extent of what this Michael person was capable of when we first set out on this little expedition.
Right, but I can't help but feel as though he only really started to ramp up in production here around the time you started dealing with him. And I'm not entirely sure if your plan for dealing with him is making him so immensely powerful that I can't deal with him. But whatever it is, you had better make damn sure that your plan actually works.
Wait, I want to roll, double perception here.
This would be insight.
Oh, okay. I want to roll double insight here.
AKA double perception.
I want to roll it once cut here, obviously. Once on the record, once off the record.
Perception 2, the sequel. Elias had to ask a secret question. We're going to hop right back in with Red after answering that question, so you guys don't miss anything past that.
I am perfectly fine with your methods as you described them to me. However, the scale has gotten to be a bit of an issue.
Perfectly understandable.
Before, what I valued from you, and the reason why I decided to trust you, was you gave me information that you didn't have to, that would in fact have been very valuable to me. That you could have used as leverage, perhaps, to attempt to screw me over, as many, many have. You wouldn't believe the amount of times that expeditions that I've sent out have attempted to defraud me because the things they've discovered are worth more than what I offered, according to them.
Yes, well, I quite value being alive, so...
I'm not threatening you. What I'm saying is, if this goes poorly, your employer dies. And if I die, do you know what happens to everybody here?
Yes, well, I can't imagine it would be a good state of affairs, in any case.
Do you like having mana around?
I'm sorry, okay, hold on, let me roll insight on that.
He's a big old dragon, man.
Is he implying that
Yeah.
he's the source of mana on the rock?
A lot of mana.
Well, yeah, but he's a dragon. He's not a dragon plant that produces it.
You don't know that.
I think, maybe I'm getting my Shadowrun mixed up in there, but I think dragons are like a major mana producer.
Yeah, you can roll it.
I mean,
Roll that
that
insight.
seems to be like a little bit, maybe not a slip up, but like he seems to be implying like, is he like continuously opening a portal to let more raw mana in or something? I'm rolling.
He might be the only one stopping the old gods from coming in and taking everyone back.
19.
19, you can't quite judge if that means that he's saying that he is the producer of mana or that he actively is stopping something from eliminating mana.
Either of those outcomes are
Basically, from what you can get from that is that he is very confident that if he is not around, then mana is not going to be as abundant or abundant at all on this plane.
all right. That's a piece of information we didn't have before. I'll have to tell everybody that after the call. But yeah, I'm not going to say anything right now, so you can go on.
I'm assuming that you do.
Yes, we fully understand the gravity of the situation. As with most Jerry-related incidents, they only happen...
No, this is more than a Giron-related incident. I dealt with that before I met you.
Well, yes.
The thing that is important about this one is you're a biologist. You're a man of science, right?
Yes, correct.
You are then aware, at least partially in some of the minutiae of magical studies.
Yes, well, it depends on the field, but you have the way of it.
This man has set himself up as my bane. And you do know the gravity of that, correct?
I'm a bit rusty on my on that particular area.
In a pure technical term, what it means is, typically speaking, from an objective standpoint, this man is nowhere near as powerful as me.
Yes, correct.
Objectively speaking. However, when, let's take the archetypical example of a sword. A sword of worm's bane. It's not that the sword itself is sharp enough to slip through the scales. It's that there is something around it that allows that impossibility to happen. And the stronger that rejection of reality, the more powerful the effect. And with this boost that he just got, he has set himself up very powerfully as my bane. And I'm not entirely sure to what level he's aware of that. If he were to storm New York right now, I would not be capable of stopping him. Do you understand the gravity of this situation? You need to draw him as far away from me as possible.
Well, the good news on that front is that's what we had already decided to do. We're currently baiting somewhat of a trap with a final artifact that we know the location of. It's out in, I believe, a place called Redwood National Park, which should be sufficiently far away from New York. And
fantastic.
We'll send you, I'm sure you'll see shortly, unless you'd like to double check the video before.
That's fine. I have more important things that I need to deal with.
Yes, well, in any case...
Emily's been listening the whole time and... Oh, no. Looks like she's about to cry. This is what I was talking about. It's not that I'm scared of dying. I've dealt with far worse. It's that now I have a place to call home, and I have people who rely on me. And I am currently powerless to defend them. I'm sure you understand that feeling.
Yes, I can understand that. Might I suggest on that front, well, a certain aspect of this video that we've produced seems to imply that John is more chosen or more capable as a religious lightning rod, I suppose, than Michael. Might I suggest sending word to the congregation? I know you don't particularly care for Lazarus, and I'm sure he doesn't particularly care for you, but should the worst come to worse, it might behoove the both of you to form an uneasy alliance against Michael.
Uneasy would be putting it softly.
Yes, well, not that I have...
As it stands, I will do what I can to get people united and to get some form of defense going. However, I'll be the first to tell you, since it's going to matter to you very soon. This has morphed into a war.
Hopefully we'll be able to cut it off before any sort of large-scale violence erupts.
People are amassing at my borders, his followers are growing, and each and every one of them has a weaker effect a weaker version of the one surrounding himself.
I think...
The people are looking to me, and this is my fault for taking care of their problems for them for too long. I'm already getting requests and demands to defend cities, to defend interests that I simply cannot, and I'm running out of excuses.
I think on that note, we should play this tape as soon as possible to take some of the pressure off. In any case, I think there's not too much more to be gained from prolonged conversation, and I thank you for your time, and I apologize again for this massive inconvenience, and I assure you we are fully aware of the gravity of the situation.
Tell me where you are right now. Give me explicit directions.
Where are we right now? Out of character. I mean, Elias knows where we are, but we're
yes, you can just
Pat's
you
the
can give it
navigator,
to
I'll
him.
let you know.
Yeah. You can feed the info to him with pure GPS location.
Yeah, hand wave it. That's where we are.
Right. So, there's not really any more point in pretending as though this is a business arrangement anymore.
Yes, well.
So, as a result, stay where you are for at least, say, 8 hours.
We were making preparations to move to Redwood National Park as quickly as possible.
You will not be able to kill this man without the things I am sending you.
Right. That sounds rather important. So of course we'll stay put.
Hello again. There is another secret question that Jerry wanted to hide from the viewing audience. So, I wish we would have planned this out so I didn't have to edit this one so much. But we will go back right after Red finishes telling the crew what that's about. And if you are wondering, maybe there's a time in the future where we might put these out. I don't know. We'll have to see.
As I was saying, and you're going to hear a very large map unfolding. There are currently, as I speak, splinter groups and detachments of this man's own design building up in surrounding states and counties. There is a underground pseudo-cult forming within New York itself that I am attempting to get information on, but it is spreading quickly.
Well, that sounds rather bad for us.
You see, you most likely only heard the long-distance radio recording, correct?
Yes.
Far, far more in-depth has been the broadcasting that he has been doing for a good while now in this surrounding area that I am powerless to censor.
I suppose we can see what we can do.
My current status as a hands-off leader has meant that I am not capable of censoring him. Were I to do that, trust in me would evaporate, and there would be far more chaos and far more led to this man's side.
Correct. That makes sense.
There was an uneasy balance, and he was struggling to find a foothold until now. The floodgates have opened. There isn't violence on the street yet, but it is part of their doctrine. So please, not for me, but for those people, hurry up.
We will make all haste after that 8 hours and whatever it is that you're sending us arrives.
Fantastic. Try not to get yourselves killed.
Yes, that is the plan.
I'm gonna click it.
So I guess the war for the rock has begun.
God damn it.
Fuck you, Tim.
Need to buy my sunglasses there, Patton.
And that'll do it for this episode of Revival, a Dungeons & Dragons real play podcast. You can find the podcast on YouTube and iTunes, as I mentioned before, also Google Play and Spotify. You can find us on Twitter at LetMeTellYouPD. You can send us questions, like I mentioned at the start of the episode, at the Twitter, or the Discord, or the email, letmetellyyouabout@gmail.com. That's letmetellyyouabout with 3 T's at the end. There's also a Patreon in the description. If my voice sounds a little bit weird in these cutouts, it's because I'm really sick, but wanted to get this episode out because we only have a few more between where you guys are and what we have stored, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens. So, thanks for your patience there, and I hope you guys are ready for more Revival. So long.
Oh, what a fun episode this one will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be a nightmare to edit, as players are constantly asking for out-of-character clarification for stuff that happened, like, literally a year ago.
True.
It'll be great. Don't worry about it. You know, it's episode 60. Forget about it.
Wait, is it episode 60?
Yep. Before I cut
It's not episode 59?
Episode 59 was last week.
Yeah, this is episode 60.
Only 9 more episodes, baby.
True.
Do not